name's not on the chip. Yes, okay. Welcome back to another episode of Hear Me When I Say, the podcast. I'm your boo, Lady T, and I'm talking all things telecommunicating. Why you throw that chip down like that? I'm talking all things telecommunicating with my lovely telecommunicators here. And we are here at the Triple T conference. We love her. She refuses to interview, but she's going to be doing quite a few cameos and photo bombs. So we're going to show love to my other telecommunicator over there. You still got to give your name because I don't know. Now, anyway, we are talking all things telecommunicated, good, bad, ugly, funny, and everything in between. And today I have
Jessica and Billie.
And
I am Ashley.
and we are all here talking things telecommunicating at the Triple T conference. And I'm so excited because I'm going to get to learn some new things about call taking and telecommunicating from other call centers within
Wise County, Virginia.
From VA. You're from VA too?
Illinois.
I'll step back. I'm from Lake County, Illinois.
Oh, see, so she way random, okay?
Yeah.
You're not gonna see her much, but you will hear her, okay? You will hear what Illinois gotta say, okay? So it's not all white people out there. I found that out. I learned it. I didn't know. She's like, I'm not with her. Yeah, we're talking all things. All things. Okay, so I didn't know. I mean, that's to me. I just thought only white people live there. Clearly, not all white people are out there. We're good. I know it now. And they're not all in the call center. Cool. So we're gonna have a good conversation today, and we are just gonna get to know these lovely young ladies. And because I have only worked in one call center, I've not had an opportunity to work in other ones. I've learned as I've talked to other telecommunicators that all call centers are not the same. Where I'm at in North Carolina, our call centers are separate. So police have their own call centers, medical have their call center, and then city fire has their own call center. And so when you call 911, they ask you, do you need police, fire, or medic? If you need police, they keep you. If you need medic, they transfer you to me. And police will supposed to stay on the line with you to make sure the call may or may not be scene safety related. And then if you need fire, they'll transfer you to city fire. But if it's county fire, I process those calls too. So I learned that in some call centers, they house police, fire, and medic all in one house. And sometimes they house highway patrol, sheriffs, deputies all within that same call center. So to see how they operate their telecommunications center with all of the entities in one versus mine is just medical only and county fire. Our stress load, our workload may be different. Our camaraderie amongst one another and our cohesiveness and how we all lean on each other and we work well with one another could be different. So we're going to get a little bit of that today on Hear Me When I Say. Why? Because we want to hear what these ladies and you have to say. And I need you to please like, subscribe, and share all around the world to all telecommunicators, anybody that's a first responder. But I want to start off with saying thank you, guys. Thank you. Not for just showing up here, but showing up every day at your job. Thank you for choosing to fill out the application to this job, and thank you for choosing to stay and show up to the job day in and day out, call after call after call, because it takes a unique person and it takes a certain level of resiliency and tenacity, which is what they talk about at this conference, to do the job and to stick it out and to choose to show up again the next day, to choose to stay even after that last call. And oftentimes we don't get the closure we need from calls, and oftentimes we don't get the thank yous that we deserve for saving that life or responding as quickly as we did, or just putting up with the abuse that they endured on us because they were scared, they were nervous, they were mad because they got locked out the house by their abusive significant other, and they decided to take it out on you because they couldn't get to them. And I want to say thank you. I want to say I appreciate you if nobody else does,
Well,
because
thank
you
you.
didn't leave all the calls for me. So thank you. So how many years have you been a telecommunicator?
This past November made 12.
Whoop whoop! She double digits out here. She a big girl now. She almost a teenager.
I'm almost.
How long have you been?
June of this year will be 19 years.
Wow, she's almost a senior, y'all.
Yes.
She's about to
Ain't
retire. Wow, that is a long time to stick this out. And how long have you been in it?
3 years.
3.
3
So
years
you're a
since
baby.
February. I am a
y'all.
baby.
You still smell like Cinnalac. I love it. But don't feel bad. I've been there for 5 years. This January just made 5 years, so I'm right here with you. Air 5. There we go. Forget your old heads, you know. You wasn't ready. Was you?
We thought we were ready.
I was not mentally prepared for this, okay?
This is the wonderful thing about hear me when I say. Why? Because you don't know what you're going to hear when we say. So I am going to sit here. Okay, so I want to ask you guys the one famous question that we all hate.
Oh, yes.
What was the most interesting call you've ever taken?
Interesting.
I've got one. It's a call. It's one I like to tell pretty often. It wasn't a very long call, but it was a funny call, and it just broke, I guess, the part of the day where you're just kind of like in a slump. You've been taking calls all day and everything. But this caller called in and told me that there was a bear on their front porch drinking Kool-Aid.
What?
Yes, drinking Kool-Aid. And I said, excuse me? And she said, ma'am, there is a bear on my front porch drinking Kool-Aid. And I didn't know how to respond to that, honestly. That's not in the textbooks, okay? It's not something you're trained on. So I said, where did the bear get the Kool-Aid?
Right?
I didn't know what else to say. I mean, where did she said, there is a refrigerator on my porch, and she said that the bear opened the refrigerator and got the jug of Kool-Aid out, and he is sitting there chugging that Kool-Aid.
Wait, he knew how to turn the
Somehow he opened that. I mean, I had so many questions. I honestly did at that point, but I was just like, okay, I'll get someone out that way. I just didn't know what else to say or do. And I mean, we do have bear calls because we live in a very rural area, and we are one of those centers that does it all. We do police, fire, rescue. We do the game warden. We do animal control.
Oh, wow.
We do all of the PDs except for one in the area. And we do public works. So, I mean, it was us that they should have called. It just wasn't a call that I was familiar with.
Yeah.
So we sent animal. Well, actually, I sent a deputy out there, and he just kind of blew his horn and scared the bear away.
Gotcha. Okay, well, before you try to leave, even though you're supposed to be our photo bomber, what was one of your most interesting calls you took?
There's so many interesting calls every day. It's hard to just kind of pinpoint one. I feel like animal complaints are always interesting. You know, we get a lot of horse calls, so so a lot of people are like, this horse won't leave, I can't get to work, and I'm like, okay, we'll send somebody there, but
That's not their pet.
no, they leave like the stables and then they'll end up there
In the roads.
in roads.
Girl, we got bears drinking Kool-Aid.
There's cows on the
I'm a
4
city
lane.
girl.
We say 4 lane rather than interstate, but it's 4 lanes of traffic. But there's cows that block the road.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
Roll.
I remember.
Roll. I can't even say it now.
Yeah, I can't.
We
Roll
also
air.
had a buffalo. If you look up Lake County, there was a buffalo that was running loose, and it was
What?
like a whole 2-month ordeal. Yeah. So anytime someone would spot a buffalo, they'd call us and be like, "Okay, well, we'll let the forest preserve or whoever that was near that let them know." It went to the neighboring county. It came back.
See, now you weren't prepared, were you?
Because I'm a 911 emergency.
You'd be surprised what people call, but yeah, animal, anything animal related has got to be the most interesting.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Okay, got it. All right. So, what was one of your most interesting?
It's your turn, Jessica.
I don't really remember the interesting ones. For whatever reason, they don't stick with me.
I mean, okay. So, what was one of your most gruesome calls?
She has some of those.
A lot of those. Probably the most recent. It was a welfare check. My deputies went out there and my dad had killed himself and his son, and it
Oh wow.
was pretty horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only a couple of months ago too, so it's still a little fresh.
Recent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Gotcha. So, what's one of your pet peeves from call taking? What is one of your biggest pet peeves as a call taker?
Mine is when they abuse 911. We are a public service. That's what we provide, a public service. But when you're abusing 911 and you're calling for a reason that you shouldn't be calling for, or you're calling over and over and over again, and you don't actually have an emergency, then there's a possibility that I'm not answering the call for someone that needs it.
Yep.
And that really annoys me.
Okay.
Know when to use 911.
All right. What about you?
I think it's when people spell the street names thinking that you don't know how to spell. And they're like, oh, I don't know if you know this or if you're educated enough to know how to spell this.
They say that?
Sometimes they do, it depends. But sometimes it's like they'll say it very slow. And I'm like, you could spell it out faster. I'm pretty sure I have it already. But if you want to, go ahead and spell it out.
Wow.
Okay. That's a good one. That's
a different one.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Hateful people. People that call in are just mean. Like, there's no need in it. I'm there to help you. You don't call me and be mean. Because then I get mean and then my boss I get in trouble and it's a whole new situation.
You be human.
Right.
You're another human being, not an automated system on the other end of the phone.
Right.
So when they picked up, they didn't dial 1, they dialed Jessica.
Right. You remembered. Look at this. Yeah.
So when you ask the question, it's not for them to select 2 or 0 for an operator. You are the live operator, so they're going to get a live response that they're not ready for. So I totally agree. My pet peeve is they don't know their address, and they're looking right at the building. I'm in front of the Chase Bank. What's the address? I don't know. Can't you find me?
Yep.
You right in front of it.
Or you say, where are you at? My house. Okay, well, where do you live? Well, I live in Abingdon. Okay, what is your address in Abingdon?
And then they give you a P.O. box.
No.
Okay, I'm going to respond to your P.O. box.
Right.
That's where I'm going. Yeah.
Let's make sure this ambulance fit inside.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I mean, look, this is a safe space for it. You can unload all of that because you're not wrong. You are right to feel how you feel, and you are justified to feel how you feel. At least here on Hear Me When I Say. Why? Because you answer on average how many calls in your call center? Everybody can go.
We average around just under 100,000 a year. Now that's not just 911 because we do admin for the sheriff's office, and then we have regular admin lines for dispatch as well.
Okay.
So last year it was just under 100,000.
You're not photobombing. You're fired. You're still here, but you're supposed to be bombing.
She's nervous because I got convicted.
Wait. So before you go,
Yeah.
tell us. You got to answer this last, but this is her last part.
That's because I'm talking too much.
No,
That's who I am.
that. We love you. So tell us, but tell the other telecommunicators, what is the one thing that you want them to hear you say? You gotta say, hear me when I say.
Hear me when I say that a lot of times I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this phone call is going to be, and I don't know how to handle it, but I have enough training to at least know what questions to ask. So not being able to know what you're supposed to do, it's all of us. We all go through that. So
Hear me when I say.
hear me when I say that I don't know what I'm doing either.
But you're still here.
But I'm still here.
And you're still learning.
Yep.
And you're okay with that.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much for showing up, Ashley.
Ashley, yep.
Ah,
She's two.
I'm 2
2 for 2.
for 2.
You gonna get this? No.
Oh.
We're about to, because your name is simple. It's Y-E Billie.
Yeah.
Hey, we gotta do this.
That's right. Way to go.
You got it. You got all three. Look at you.
Look, the way these names be naming, okay? But yes, thank you so much for photobombing and joining us on this platform. You go ahead on inside, say the scene for me, okay?
Okay, sounds good. See you
All
tomorrow.
right, see you tomorrow. All right, so you guys can't answer that just yet, but now that you know the question, you can think about it. So my next question to you is, what got you into this career? Why did you choose this career, or how did you get into it? Because I'm not sure if you ever started off in first responding as an EMT, firefighter. Did you ever join the military? I don't know if you had family who was already in these things and you was like, hey, it looks pretty cool, or they always did it, so I want to do it, and you just follow suit. What is it for you that you made the decision to say, hey, I want to be a telecommunicator?
Actually, I think the good Lord made that decision for me.
Oh, speak on it. I love a good Lord
do.
talk.
Yes,
Come on,
I
talk
do.
my God.
I had lost my job because I was stupid, and you know, you get upset and you do stupid things. I did a stupid thing, and I got mad, and I just told him, that's it, I'm gone, I quit, and I walked out.
Okay.
Of course, the good Lord provided me another job within, it wasn't even a week later, I was at a job, I was at a call center. I actually worked for Sirius XM.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but I knew that wasn't where I was supposed to be, you know, and it gave me some time. I worked there for about 3 months, gave me some time to pray and ask God, what, you know, put me where I need to be. That's what I need you to do, is put me where I need to be. And I had a friend that was working at the sheriff's office, and she reached out to me and said, hey, there's a dispatch job open. And I said, what is that? And she said, well, you just dispatch fire, police, and rescue. And just made it sound like it was just, you know, that's all you do. And I was like, okay, I'll apply.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the job. And, but I can't imagine at this point doing anything else.
Wow. Okay. That's good to know. What about you?
I actually had went through nursing school and graduated, and my mother-in-law at the time worked there, and she's like, hey, we're hiring. So while I was like looking to find a nursing job, I applied and I got the job, and now I can't leave.
And now you're 12 years in.
12 years in.
So what's keeping you guys there?
It's like a, you know, I don't even know if I can explain what keeps me there, other than it's just in my blood. It's just something that I know that I have to do. I have to be there for those guys, you know, the guys and the girls on the road. They depend on me, and my community. You know, even though my community may not know that they depend on me, I know that they depend on me.
Okay.
So I guess that's what keeps me there. I don't know how else to explain it.
Okay.
Well, for one, I'm nosy, so I have to know what's going on 24/7. I can't not know.
So
She
true.
know herself. I
So
love
true.
it.
For being honest,
Yes, this is
but,
all transparency. This is all honesty. Yes.
But no, it's my family. Like, this is my second family. I can't leave them. I volunteer with the American Red Cross. I'm a volunteer EMT and a volunteer firefighter. So, like, giving back to my community, I mean, not that the community's really done anything for me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but, like, I just like to I guess I'm a people pleaser, so like I want to help people. I want it to be better. So that's what I do. I mean, I like helping people.
Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and I'll join in. Even though I'm asking the questions and it's all about y'all for today, I'll still enlighten the listeners. I am. What's still keeping me there at the moment is definitely the heart for service, the heart for helping. But I started off. Volunteering as a firefighter EMT for 5 years back home in Maryland. And I did it because I used to watch ER on TV. So I started off watching the old ER
That was a good
on
show.
TV back in the 90s. Okay?
Very good show.
Very, very awesome show.
Yes.
Love it. To me, I think that was the original Grey's Anatomy.
It
if you
really
ask
was.
me.
Yes.
And it was the better Grey's Anatomy. But I started off wanting to do it through them. And then when I realized that those stretchers were taking a toll on my back and the nursing homes weren't really helping you and things of that nature, I was like, maybe I can still help first responders, but from the inside by taking calls. And when you look at it on TV and on the movies, it seems very easy and simple. And so I went ahead and I applied for it, thinking that I'm still a part of the first responders team, but just on the preserving my body side of it. So when you guys applied for the job, was it what you thought it was?
Oh gosh.
Did you know exactly what the full scope of telecommunicating entailed?
Absolutely no clue whatsoever.
Okay, just making sure that I wasn't blindsided as well. Like I wasn't the only one blindsided. Okay, so with knowing I'm not the only one that was blindsided, I'm not the only one who loves being it. We are the first responders, because a lot of people do not give us credit for that. Because we're not arriving first on scene, they don't consider us as a first responder, but we're the first ones to respond to the emergency with answering the call. Because how else are our field agencies gonna know to arrive on scene if no one calls them and tells them where to come? So they have to make a phone call first, and they don't make it directly to their units. They don't make it directly to their police cars and their ambulance unit or their fire trucks. They make it to us, and then we forward the information. So we are the first responders. They're the first to arrive on scene, and collectively we are all essential employees, essential workers. And so I have so many more questions to ask. I really do. But I promised I wasn't going to keep them for too long. I was already snagging them after a long, beautiful day at the conference. As you can see,
True.
we got all of our wonderful banners on.
I have more. I just didn't put them on.
No, I went crazy.
I see this.
I went bananas. I love it.
It's fine.
It's a part of who I am.
It's perfectly fine.
But out of your years of serving, your 12 years and your 19 years, have you ever experienced burnout, or have you ever been diagnosed with PTSD or compassion fatigue, or any of those things? Have you ever had any issues with the job, or has your job been pretty the basic ebbs and flows, but nothing that ever stuck with you?
I don't think there's been any diagnosis, but I've experienced those things. Compassion fatigue. I know that I went through that at one point, but I had a supervisor that was good enough at the time to give me a wake-up call. I literally,
so your supervisor recognized it in you.
Yes, and I literally listened. I don't know that she didn't give it that name,
Okay.
but she knew that that on that call that I took, that it wasn't my normal self,
Okay.
and she made me listen to that call.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was
to
hard.
hear yourself.
To hear myself.
Oh, wow.
When I told her that, I said the caller was the problem. The caller was a frequent flyer. The caller was calling. There wasn't really anything on. He was yelling at me. But when I listened to the call, I was the one doing the yelling. And boy, did it open my eyes. And from that point forward, I was like, Billie, you you can't put yourself in the middle of their crisis. You can't put yourself in the middle of their emergency. You can't put yourself in the middle of their life. You're supposed to be the one that sends them the help that they need. And of course, conferences like this, I think that helps a lot to not have the burnout, to be able to go to these different trainings and to hear people talk about the different things that they have been through and the things that they've seen. And it just reminds me why I'm on the other end of that phone. So I think that helps a lot too.
Okay.
I just did instructor school, general instructor school this past week at the academy.
Yes, so proud.
And my 10 minutes presentation was on burnout and 911 dispatchers. And then 20-minute presentation I had to do was on PTSD and 911 dispatchers. So I actually, unlike Billie, have a diagnosis. I was on medicine for it.
I was about to say, did you see yourself in the research, as you were learning it? Did you
Oh
see
yeah,
yourself?
absolutely,
Okay.
without a doubt, yeah. But I recognized that I need help, and so I got help, and I mean, I'm good now. We're on the right path.
So what are some of the, give me 5 things. Give me 5 things each. And if it's the same, I get it. Yeah. Because I want you to have your own.
Yes.
I don't want you to take the easy route out and be like, what she said. No. I want to hear what you have to say in your own words. But if 1 or 2 things overlap, that's fine. But give me 5 things that you would say is a technique, a tool, a strategy that you had to use once you saw yourself, heard yourself, and realized you were at this, you reached your limit. What did you then do? What was the steps or the progress to get you back to you? Because you said
Yes.
you recognize that the city depends on you,
Yes.
your family, but
Me.
how do you depend on you?
I think it allowed me to take this real quick, learn a lot about myself, and realize that I had to take care of myself. So one thing I started walking, which I wish I kept up. I'm not doing as well with it as I did.
Well, join us. Because I take my walk every day for 10 minutes.
I
so we
need
can
to
take
start
our
that
walk.
back, and
Okay.
I keep on telling myself that, and I need to do it. I know it's still me. I'm the one that has to do it.
Yes.
But
I'm sorry, I could walk, but the calories aren't going to come off either.
So I did. I started walking, and I started taking a little more time for me. And a big thing for me was
That's one.
Okay.
You walking.
A big thing for me was when I went home at the end of the day, and we talked about this earlier off camera. You can't really go home and unload on your family what really happens at work. You can't tell them about those really bad calls that stick with you, that you play over and over and over in your mind, and you ask yourself, what could I have done differently, or why didn't I do this, or why didn't I say that? And so you just play those over and over in your mind, but you can't really talk about it with your family. So I knew I had to find an outlet, and my outlet was Lifetime movies. And the reason for that is because when I would go home before and I'd be upset and I'd had a bad day, and maybe the stress got to me and I was crying, because I'm a crier. I'm a crier.
Okay.
So, and then my husband would have to, yes, she knows, I'm a crier. My husband would say, what's wrong? Are you okay? What's wrong? And sometimes you can't even voice what's wrong. You just have to let it out. The Lifetime movies, I could sit there and watch one of those movies and bawl like a baby. And my husband,
give you your excuse.
my husband didn't ask me what was wrong. He knew I was watching a Lifetime movie, so I didn't have to explain it.
That was your way of masking.
Yes, but the
Your
stress,
outlet,
the
but you
stress
still
was
got it
still
out.
going out.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That was your sneakishly way of going. But the fact that you knew yourself enough to know that you are a crier.
Yeah, and
So
I
you
knew I
found
had
a
to
way.
get it out that way. Yes.
Okay, so that's 2.
Oh, I still have 3 more.
3 more to go.
3 more. I went to a training And I don't know if you've been to the Denise and Billie training.
I did just last year for the first time. Go ahead. So the Denise and Billie
Denise and
training.
Billie training really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and it made me start to think outside the box. You know, even though I'd been doing it for several years, and I don't even know at the time that I went to that training how long I've been doing it. But I hadn't heard the stories before.
Right. I had never either.
So when I went to that training and I saw all those mistakes that were made, and I am a firm believer that when it's someone's time to go, it's their time to go. You can have an event that happens and everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Wow.
Or you can have an event that happens and everything that can go right will go right.
Will go right, yeah.
Yes. So that was one of those situations where everything that could go wrong
went wrong.
But one dispatcher could have made
A difference.
the whole outcome change. One dispatcher. Potentially, if it wasn't her time to go. So that really made me start thinking outside of the box, and when someone calls about the things that I need to ask and things I need to listen for that they're not saying,
Say it again. I need you to say it louder.
Okay, the things that that you have to listen for that they're not saying.
That the callers are not saying. Yes, you gotta hear what they're not saying for sure. Okay, so thinking outside the box, crying for Lifetime movies. We got taking your walks.
Yes.
All right, that's 3.
Okay. That's hard. 2 more.
I mean, these are the techniques and things that you use to help you get back to you, to help you overcome the burnout, the compassion fatigue. What are some of the things that you do to help?
I created a Zen den at work.
A what?
A Zen den. It's literally a single chair. Let me show you.
In a dark room.
In a dark room, low lighting, and it is
A Zen den. Y'all hear that? Zen.
Z-E-N.
Z-E-N.
Okay.
D-E-N.
Z-E-N. D-E-N.
Zen
Okay.
den. Hold on, I'm going to show it to you.
Got it.
She's got a picture. And she did most of this on her own.
Really? So what made that idea pop up to you? What made you?
I just realized that sometimes you need to walk away and gather yourself in a way that you can't do out there. I mean, it's not that you can't do out there, but
sometimes you just don't have the time.
You just need privacy
you
too.
Just need to breathe.
Okay. Ooh.
So
I like that.
We've got like little fidgets. I got plants, some puzzles. My favorite is the sand table. I like to. Our sheriff actually, after I did it, it was one of those ask for forgiveness, not permission kind of things. So kind of just did it, and then
we took it was their office supply room.
Yeah, and created it, and
you just took over it.
And we had a diffuser, and then a sheriff bought us a sound machine. So I turned the ocean on, and I play in the sand, and I pretend like I'm at the water because that's my happy place.
Yes, high five, happy place. Somebody else who likes the water besides me, y'all.
Oh, I love it too. It's all of us.
And
yes.
This is a sign on the door. It just says knock before entering and leave your worries at the door. And then I've got.
You gotta send me that.
I've got.
I don't know how I'm gonna incorporate it at my job. I gotta figure out a room that I could put it in. But you gotta send me that. I like that.
Sand. Then I've got little positive sayings on here.
Yes.
And I change them out, but if you're going through a hard time, like that one, if today all you did was hold yourself together, I'm proud of you. And then that way, if you're sitting there and you're having time.
And if today
all you did was hold yourself together.
All you did today was hold yourself together.
I'm proud of you.
Say it again.
If today all you did was hold yourself together, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Like this one. You'll have good days, bad days, overwhelming days, too tired days, I'm awesome days, I can't go on days, and every day you still show up.
Every day you still show up. I like this. You gotta send me that.
Okay.
You gotta send me that because I gotta figure out how to implement it at my job for sure.
I got you.
Okay, so the Zen Den is one of yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, I seek medical help because I realized I needed it.
Like counseling or just a regular primary care physician?
Primary care, and then I did do some counseling.
Okay.
But the biggest thing that's helped me is talking to the people that I work with.
Your coworkers.
Yeah, like the
ones
other
that you run
dispatchers, but also the deputies and stuff. Like we have a very close bond, and us talking has really helped us like overcome.
Okay,
like,
so
a lot.
talking to your peers,
Yeah.
that's definitely one for
Yeah.
sure. Being able to lean on one another. And
Somebody who else is going through it can understand it, and you don't have to take it home and put it on your family. That was a big one for me.
Okay. All right. So we 3 for 3.
Okay. I've
Y'all
got
did
another
three
one,
people.
and really, I probably should have done this one first. God forgive me.
Speak up.
Church.
All right.
Church is like my safe place, you know, because I can go to church and I can literally leave everything at that door. When I walk into that congregation and I sit down in that pew and I really just kind of just let it go. Even if it's just for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is that I'm there, I don't think about work. I don't think about anything
You
else.
genuinely feel a release. You genuinely.
I do, and it also helps me
nice.
to go back that next week.
Nice. It gives you a good reset.
Yes, it does.
Nice. So have you ever had church hurt?
Church hurt?
Church
Like when
hurt.
someone actually hurt me in church?
Yes.
Yes.
And you've had a bad pastor or a bad congregation, or you was in a specific ministry that you served, and you was just like, I'm done. I don't ever want to go back to church again. Like, and somehow you were still able to.
Yes. Yeah, I was actually 12 years old.
Oh.
I had the church hurt. That's young.
Wow.
It's very,
Yeah.
very young to have someone hurt you and you feel like that. Well, really, they honestly made me feel like that I had done the unforgivable sin and that I was never going to be okay with God at 12 years old.
Okay.
So that was hard, but of course, you know, God sought me out and told me that no, that she was wrong.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And now church is one of your top 5s to your healing, your treatments, your recovery, to getting back to you.
yes, absolutely, should have been number 1.
Should have been number 1, but at least it's on there.
Yes, it's
At
on
least it's on there, and at least it's a part of the top 5. All right, so we got one more for you.
One more for me.
I'll say one more.
Two for you.
So one for me is
It's not ours. We thought it's
we recently bought a camper and put it down at the lake, and for me to get away from it all and to like reset, we go. I mean, it's a different state from where I live. I don't know nobody down there, and it helps me recharge to be able to
Nice.
do it. Because like I said, the lake, it's water. I love water, so.
And you go fishing? No.
No, we'll not be doing that.
Okay, I mean, people fish at the lake, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're 4 and 4.
Okay.
We got one more good tool or technique that helped you to overcome your, I'm not going to say overcome because I think it's a journey. I think as long as we work this job, we're always exposing ourselves to trauma. We're always exposing ourselves to drama. And we're never gonna be immune to it. We create an immunity to it, but that is what compassion fatigue and burnout looks like. So to create a healthy adaptation to the lifestyle and the career style that we currently work in, these are some of the tools and tips and techniques that you guys can implement in your life if you're not already implementing these things. Take a walk. Go to church. Let's start over. Go to church. Number 1, God is the center of my life. He is the forefront of my life. He is the reason for this platform. He is the reason for this conversation. He is the reason for me still being alive to this day. Let me say that. So God is number 1. More importantly, I agree with him. And taking a walk. You guys know I do my videos and I just take a 10-minute walk every day at work. So I use the bathroom to go heat up my food. I go to the furthest break room to heat my food up. When I go to the bathroom, if my bladder can hold it, because you know,
some days you can.
it just don't be bladdering, okay? You gotta take it to the furthest bathroom just to get those extra steps in before we get, because we live and work a sedentary life. And from what I've been told, this lifestyle shortens your lifespan by 30 to 50 years. And the
I'll
average,
be on my way out then.
And the average person, no, we're going to get you right, okay? Because you ain't going nowhere. Now, not what you know with me, not what you know what I know. Look, okay? We're going to have you swim across that lake and come back. That's what we're going to have you do.
I got this.
So, with that being said, I don't want us to work and dedicate our lives to serving the community for 20 to 30 years. And then when we retire, we only have 1 to 2 years to see the world, and then it's time to be called home to heaven. No, that's not fair. That you be a good servant of God in the kingdom and the gifts He gave you just to be called home. You know, no, there has to be more to life. There has to be more to us as telecommunicators around the world, you guys including. So be intentional about taking your walk, getting your blood circulating, burning some calories, you know. The third thing that you said was cry it out. Watch a good movie. If you know yourself and you know you're a crier, find the things that will force you to cry, to help encourage those tears to come out. Because sometimes you get so jaded. Like me, I got to a point where I wanted to cry and couldn't. I was trying to find the tears and they just would not come out. I was just so exhausted and so done that I was numb. And I knew I wanted to cry and I needed to cry because that was a sad situation. But the tears was just not there. But if you have the ability to get it out, crying is one of the most cleansing releases ever. So I encourage the crying for sure. So crying, and what was your other one? Church, walking, crying.
She done lied.
This is a telecommunicators memory, okay?
Exactly.
We know your address. Help us on the way. On to the next, okay?
I'm good with numbers.
Yeah. What's your telephone number? What's the VIN number? What's your date of birth? On to the next call. We got to get to the next call. We can't. We don't have the capacity to hold on to yours and the 180 calls we take. We got to get to the next. But we're gonna work on that. We're gonna try. So the next one is darn, what was it? Because it was a good one. You had all good ones. You had all great ones too. All good, great ones. And I want to hold on to all of them. I want to be able to recap them. But what was it? Because you still got one more to go.
I know. I'm trying to think of what it was.
What was it?
I don't know why it's left me.
I like how you said your supervisor recognized it.
Oh, it was. I had to listen to the recording of
You
myself.
heard yourself.
Yes, I heard myself.
You got to listen to
I heard
yourself and
myself.
hear yourself, and it helps you to reflect. So
Yes.
she did a good reflection. Okay. And so for you, it is going camping, getting near some water. What was the Zen room? The Zen den was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then your peers, talking
Correct.
to your co-workers. And then,
Going to the doctor.
yes, counseling and therapy and going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have 2 more. You know what? They did so great with all the other ones. I'm going to just add to it, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to do a safe space and just get back to you. Find a way to, learn you, know your health. Bless you, baby.
Thank you.
We're almost up. We're wrapping up. So, as we're coming to a close, because we're still here at the banquet, it's time for dinner and all the things, and we got to get back to our hotels and rest because we still got a day 3 of the conference.
Ma'am, I'm going to my house.
We're just
You
an hour.
live
We're
here.
just an hour away.
I live
Forget y'all.
We're an hour away.
You're gonna come? I'll take you home with me. It's fine.
Yes, if I'd have known that,
I've got an
would be
extra
paying
bed.
my
I've got
hotel
an
fee.
extra bedroom.
You don't tell me when I'm checking out after the fact. I needed you when I had to check in.
I would have.
Next
Yes.
time, girl, we got you.
There. Okay.
Look.
For the next conference next year. Well, while she's doing that, we're gonna give you a chance to speak. Tell the telecommunicators all around the world, our beautiful first responders, what is it you want them to hear you say?
Okay, so what was the line again?
Hear me when I say.
Hear me when I say, I will be there to answer your call.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's all I thought.
Hey, that's good enough.
Okay.
That is good enough. Hear her when she says she will be there to answer when you call. Okay? I see her shadow getting bigger. right, so it's your turn now. We're closing out.
Okay.
And I want you to tell the telecommunicators all around the world, what is it that you want them to hear you say? And you have to say the phrase, hear me when I say.
I don't even know what she said, but
Okay, we can do it.
It's okay.
No,
But
you was mad. Well, go ahead, my darling. I can hear you.
hear me when I say, take care of each other. Take care of your peers and your coworkers. But most importantly, take care of yourself. That's where I leave it.
All right. So, hear her when she say, take care of your coworkers. Accountability is very, very important. There is strength in numbers. When I get weak, if I go to fall, I got one way or the other to help keep me up.
I wish she'd come over this way.
She's a little frail. but anyway, this is what it looks like. Yes, this is what it looks like. Strength in numbers. That if I should ever need somebody, if I should ever fall, they're there to at least hold me up until I'm strong enough to hold myself back up, and vice versa. Even if you were too heavy for me, you're not, but even if you were, I still have her to hold me while I hold you.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. And this is what strength in numbers look like. And that's why I say I know I'm not the only one, and I know you guys are not the only one, but sometimes when you're sitting in that console by yourself, you're the only one between you and that caller, you feel like the only one. Because nobody else is hearing their call. Nobody is hearing what you're taking in your own ears. And when you hang up, that call is sitting with you. It's not sitting with the room as a whole. And so a lot of times you feel like it is just you. And so because she just had a bad call and she just took a deep breath, you don't feel like you can dump on them at that time. But there are days where she's not having bad calls, but I am. And that's the day where my cup is half empty and hers is half full. We gotta pour. And vice versa. She's having a bad day and I'm having a bad day. But that's what? She's having a bad day at home, but I'm having a bad day from work. These are two separate bad days where I can now help her relieve the stress from home because I ain't got issues at home. So I got enough energy to deal with that drama. But the issues I'm having at work, she can relate to my work. And she can also have enough energy to deal with work. She ain't got energy to deal with home, but she got energy to deal with work. She can help me with overcoming the work stressors. So when you know your partners, you know their strengths and their weaknesses, and you can see and look at them and be like, you ain't put your makeup on today. How you feeling? How you feeling, boo? You ain't got no candy on your tray. I know this lady. She has candy at least twice her shift. I ain't see her pull out one piece of candy. It's the little things that make a big difference. But if you pay attention, even if you don't like her, you can still notice her routine and notice if her routine is off that day. And sometimes the person that you don't like, if they notice something's wrong, that's when you know it's real. Because they can't fake it. They don't like you enough to fake it for you. So when that person shows up for you and be like, hey, what's good? You need your candy? You be like, you don't even like me and you want me to have my candy? Gosh, something really gotta be wrong, you know? Then that's when you know you gotta check in with yourself. Don't check into a mental ward. I'm not saying that, but you gotta check in with you know?
Or maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Hey,
Right. It's
maybe
okay. If
you don't need that one. You know? But seriously, your counterparts, even though they're paying attention to the callers, if they do pay attention to the room, it matters. And if you see something, it's okay to say it. Sometimes it's how you say it, so if you could be a little bit mindful of how you say what you say, but the what still needs to be said. So hear me when I say, I love you guys.
We love you.
We love you.
I love you
You are awesome.
I'm so glad we
just
met
meeting
you.
you
Yes,
guys.
I'm so glad.
And I am so glad that I got the opportunity to come out here to this conference.
Yep.
And realize, like, I knew I wasn't alone, but now I have tangible proof that I'm not alone
You're
in
not.
this industry and the
You're
stresses
not.
and the traumas and the triggers that I've been enduring. And I'm so grateful for you guys. So we're going to hear her when she say, when you call, she is going to answer. She's going to answer your call. And we're going to hear her when she say, take care of yourself and take care of your partners because there's strength in numbers. You are as strong as your weakest telecommunicator.
So Tiffany, can we end on a funny story? Because you never shared your good story, but we share a good story.
What was
So I think we should tell it.
What?
The phantom baby.
The what?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you this story.
Okay, hold on. You gotta speak up loud. You gotta speak
So
up. They gotta hear
it
you.
was after midnight,
A phantom baby.
and me and Billie was working, right? So
It's just me and her on shift.
it's just the two of us there. It's after
She's
midnight.
fairly new.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
it hadn't-
were.
I hadn't
you hadn't
been that
had
long.
EMD yet.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
that's what we were talking
we
about.
were looking over our EMD thing
So
or
how
whatever.
many years were you in at this time? Or months?
No,
Just
she was under a year.
probably
Oh.
under a year. So we're looking at it, and I go to the childbirth one, okay? And we're reading it, and Billie says, I will never say, do not push anything back into the vagina, because that's what it says on the EMD, right?
That you're supposed to say if they say there's a foot coming, do not push anything back into the vagina. I'm like, how could you say that on the phone? I can't say that.
No, like, not even an hour later. I mean, it wasn't long at all. We get a call. Billie takes this
I
call.
answered the call.
And this lady says her daughter's in labor, having this baby. It's coming. So Billie gets that flip chart out, and she's going through the motions. She tells that lady not to push anything back in the vagina, even though
Because
she
she told
just
me-
said she was not.
She said, oh my God, I can see the feet. And I said,
But then she
do
told her
not push anything back into the vagina. So I'm gonna take over here, Jessica. So Jessica is right across. She's right across the console from my console.
Okay.
She literally falls into the floor laughing.
Laughing.
Literally is on the floor laughing. Now, before she fell in the floor laughing, she already paged rescue for me.
I did.
She was a good partner.
I
She
did
was a
my
good
part.
partner. She had rescue.
your partner.
She had rescue en route while I was giving these instructions. Okay.
Okay.
So, but she's still in the floor laughing at this point, and I'm trying to keep it together. Now, I admit I was very excited because here I was. Let's see. 16, 17, 18. I was 7 years in. My thing when I took EMD was I want to birth the baby on the phone. That's what I wanted to do. So I was so excited. At the same time, I was scared and nervous. And here she is laughing in the floor. But I was going through the. I was telling her everything that she'd tell me, and I'd give her the instruction, and we would go back and forth. And I actually got on the radio and gave it out to an officer. It was in the town limits, but one of our deputies was closer.
Okay.
So I hear him come through the door and say, "Where is she?"
Okay.
While I am in the middle of telling her to put the towels down to catch this baby.
Okay.
And she's hollering at this, her son and her daughter-in-law, and she's like, "Give me the towels, I need this, I need that." And he comes in and he's like, "Where is she?" And so everything goes very, very quiet. And then the lady said, "They just left.
Yeah.
And they're going to the hospital."
Yeah.
And I looked at Jessica and I was like,
So I call the hospital. Hey, there's a lady coming in. She's pregnant. Feet's
The feet's
hanging
hanging
out. Like, y'all better have somebody.
so I was like flabbergasted,
Oh.
literally, because I was. What's your last name? Laney, Laney. You just won one of the raffles. Oh, okay, I'll be right there.
Okay, we're gonna be right there.
We're gonna
My
be
brother's
right there,
dead.
actually.
I was like, wait, she's in the hallway. Yes,
Yes.
I'm here.
Tell us
Okay.
Really?
She won a raffle.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Okay, we're wrapping up. We're
Okay,
wrapping
we're
up.
wrapping it up. I'm going to skip through this, but I was confused because I was literally in the middle of giving these instructions. She was telling me the baby was coming. The deputy's confused because there's no one there, and he's questioning us. Like, he's aggravated because he's like, "Where is this person?" She calls the hospital, tells them we've got inbound, active labor, intimate birth is what I said on the radio.
Yeah.
And there's nobody around. So I hang up with this lady, and not 2 minutes later, the 911 rings again, and I looked at Jessica and I said, "Oh my God, it's her." And she was like, "You gonna answer?" I said, "Well, yeah." So I answered the phone, and she's just crying hysterically, and I was like, "Ma'am, what is wrong? Is your daughter-in-law okay? Where is she? Are you okay?" And she said, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "What is wrong? Why are you so sorry?" And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, she's killed these people." And that's why they couldn't find in their head. I don't know what was going through my mind. But then she's like, "I'm so sorry. I took Ambien." And she said, There is no baby. She said, now my daughter-in-law did have a baby, but it was like 4 months ago, and I was like, where the feet hanging out?
She delivered this phantom baby.
Phantom baby that I delivered. So I still didn't have my baby.
She still didn't get it.
No baby. So, okay, the last part, and then I swear I'm done. Jessica and her mother-in-law at the time wrapped me up a Christmas present. I opened this Christmas present, and it's a shoebox with a little place cut out in the bottom, and there's a baby doll in it with his feet hanging out. And every year she shares on Facebook, do not push it back into the ground. Every year.
True story.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I gotta go get my prize.
Gotta go.
Thank you guys. It's been great. I love you. I'm gonna tell you, I love you. You are amazing.
Okay, that was funny, and you keep it going. All right, give me my love.
We're gonna see you tomorrow.
Yes, and I'm gonna get your
Tomorrow.
contact information tomorrow. Gotta have it.
Yeah, we're
All right.
We're gonna be friends in the real world.
We are in the real world, right?
Outside of this.
All right, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go to dinner. Dinner was over like I don't know how long ago. Hopefully, they still got a plate for me.
Tiffany,
Huh?
you want something?
I want something. Okay, I'm on my way. All right, so thank you for listening to Hear Me When I Say Hear Me When I Say podcast, talking all things telecommunicating. And I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. But once again, we're talking all things, and I love you. One phone call at a time, one conversation at a time, one prayer at a time. Love you. Gotta go and get my prize.